How you doing, everyone? Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, August the 1st, 8:40 p.m. Thank you so much to everybody that's online right now. We're about 12 people live. Thank you so much for your support. Before we start and give the mic to my colleagues here, I want to thank everybody. We're growing little by little. We're almost at 423 subs. So thank you so much for all your support. Check us out at Twitter at LPO_podcast. We're also live on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando, and also on YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Click on the notification bell for all notifications so you can get all the latest and greatest for the City Beautiful. So thank you so much to everyone that's supporting us day in and day out on our social media from the bottom of our hearts. So again, welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. There's a lot to talk about. It's been a little sour after the performance of Orlando City, the latest performance of Orlando City. It was climax in one game and ecstasies and you know uh, happiness and flowers and rainbows and everything you want to say. We Are the Champions by Queen was playing in the background, and then the next game it was just completely utter disorder and chaos and insanity, right? So we're going to discuss both games. We're also going to introduce Wilder Cartagena, the new signing for Orlando City, that's joining in the next few hours into the City Beautiful. It's probably arriving very soon. He already said goodbye to his former club. We'll talk about that and more. And does parking the bus work for Orlando City? And wait for them to react. Was this a player's performance? It was just utterly poor. Was it the coach? We'll talk about that and more. Dave, how are you, my friend? Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando.
Doing great. Happy Monday to everybody. Um, what can we say? Wednesday was night that we have dreamed of. I was there with my children, and we were in on cloud nine. I think nobody outside of the fan base of Orlando, probably half of the fan base of Orlando, I would say, believed that we were gonna win or do any damage. Um, I heard Paola and her soon-to-be husband's podcast Tiro de Esquina, where Paula was describing, and obviously I don't want to get ahead of myself, but describing how she felt we were going to go to penalties, and that's exactly how I felt. And fortunately for us, we played such beautiful attacking football. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. Left with the hopes that Sunday was going to be different. We started that way. Unfortunately, we did not end it that way. But it is what it is. Like you said, we have our new player Wilder Cartagena, and we have. I crunched some numbers again. We're gonna be talking about how our August looks like, our September looks like, because it's gonna be a race for seventh place here. There's a lot of teams in that the consolidated area in the standings, and nonetheless, my friends, I still believe that we can do it.
Paola, how are you? Welcome.
Happy Monday with my two favorite people of Mondays. Have you ever heard about Sour Patch Kids? I'm a Sour Patch, but backwards. First they're sweet, then they're sour. That's how I'm feeling today. We were dreaming on Wednesday. Yesterday I was sour. Um, we're gonna talk about it later. Um, I talked about yesterday in my podcast with my fiance in Tiro de Esquina in Spanish. Um, it was a dream come true, but listen, we need to be better at the attacking. But um, let's see. Let's talk about what are we gonna talk about today, Luis?
So let's start with what happened, the happiness, right? The good moments, right? Let's talk about that outstanding performance Orlando City had. Everything worked. It was a 5-1 uh, win, a goleada. That's why I say it in Spanish, right? A goleada of 5-1 against a team that it's been hard to beat New York Red Bulls this year. So it was a reivindication to a lot of the players, to the coaching staff and to the city, right? I think a lot of people, it was their first time going to a game, to Orlando City game. I know for a lot of friends that went, and they were surprised. It's like, oh my god, I never seen this performance in the past from Orlando City. I'm so dumbfounded. I think this is fantastic, and the future looks bright, right? Let's start with that, and let's start with this guy right here, right? This guy's so vital to Orlando City, and not only as a captain, but not only he has stepped up as a captain, but also as a playmaker, right? And I think well deserved, um, doblete or brace from Cesar Araujo, right? Which he scored his first two goals in his short career as a soccer player. First two goals ever in any club. He scored them here in the city of Orlando. So it's homage to his great performances recently, how he's been playing, and definitely he should have been some sort of all-star capability because he's playing a very high level. Obviously, Orlando's a small market. They're not going to put Orlando City in the all-star game, unfortunately. I think if Orlando does win the U.S. Open Cup, more than likely we'll probably be on the next MLS All Star. But now my concern here is the disparity, right, of outstanding performance. Everything worked, everything clicked, right? The defense was 9 out of 10. The transition attack, they were attacking compactly. Every single player was a playmaker right up front. And then going from that to losing a game in stoppage time. Dave, what are your expectations? Are your first expectations coming out of this game? Historic game. Now we're on the finals. We're going to play Sacramento Republic, right? USL team, which we cannot take them lightly either. No, let's treat them with a lot of respect, right? Let's not just jump the wagon. And what were your first thoughts of this match?
No, absolutely. So obviously, by the time we left Exploria, we did not know who our opponent was going to be. But we knew that I had said it in the last episode. I felt that Sporting Kansas City is having such an awful season, and I felt that Sacramento Republic, they're dangerous. They have not been given a reprieve. They are here because they are that good. I feel that this run is going to give them a lot of empowerment in their quest for USL Cup. Uh, so yeah, so they're gonna be a very tough opponent. They have slayed up a bunch of dragons coming to this game, and they have something to prove. You know, they were given a MLS expansion bid. Unfortunately, their main investor pulled out, and so now they're in a limbo. We don't know if they're gonna be part of MLS or not. Some people are saying that this fall they are going to announce that that bid is gonna go to Vegas.
Oh,
So
geez.
these are people with a lot to prove.
Was Las Vegas Lights?
No, not the lights. It's gonna go to the ownership of the Raiders. That's and they're gonna be playing in that stadium. But one thing that has to be clear is, I understand why everybody wants to support the Republic because they're the little guys, and if I was a neutral, probably that's how it would have felt. Everybody loves the underdog story, but September 7th is all business. Nobody has believed in us. The world's against us. This is our probably, quite honestly, our most realistic chance of winning Open Cup. You couldn't ask for it any better. Hollywood couldn't have not written a better way for us. We played every game at home. We are playing against quote unquote inferior competition from an inferior league. We have to win this. We just have to. We just have to. It's a real trophy, a trophy that we have been chasing since 2011, and one that is going to send us to CONCACAF Champions League to face international competition. So, like I said, me and my children, we just had a great time. Um, we went down. I felt, oh, here we go again. But we came back. And I finished with this because it was a great night, full of tons of goals. I think the surprise of the night is Cesar Araujo. Cesar came from Montevideo Wanderers, middle of the table team, one of the smallest teams in the league, one of the smallest fan base, the kid was sold for peanuts, $3 million, and I say that sarcastically because $3 million is a lot of money. But the fact of the matter is that Wanderers sold him simply because their debt was so out of control. They were afraid that the club was going to die on them, and they had this asset. Orlando City came knocking, and they did not hesitate to sell him. It was in the same saga as with Facundo, so obviously he fell under the radar. I mean, this man displaced Sebas Mendes, a Ecuadorian international, a guy that was penciled in the player in the starter sheet, and he took his starting spot right in front of him. The hero of the last tournament. So yeah, I'm happy that he got those two goals. It was a great night. He got everybody pumped up, but unfortunately, that same feel good Kool Aid did not carry on for the weekend.
Paula, in this particular game, everything worked, everything clicked. What were your observations of this game?
Beautiful football. Like they play beautiful football. Like I never seen Orlando City play so well like in Wednesday night. And like David said, I said it yesterday when Red Bull scored that goal, that first goal, I was like, OMG, we're going to penalties. Cause I didn't say we're gonna lose. We're going into penalties because we're always concede the first goal or there's we tied like really fast. And what happens? 2 minutes or a minute and a half, Cesar Araujo, boom, he scored. And it was a special night for me because I never seen Orlando City lift a trophy. And I took a picture with Facundo. Um, like it was special. I met people from, I have them on Twitter. Special shout out to Alex, Mike, Victor. I saw them in the West Club, and I took pictures with them. And I saw Orlando City playing beautifully football. And I don't understand why we cannot play every single game like we played on Wednesday. So we were connected. And I said it yesterday. I think the secret was Mauricio Pereira's hair. I don't know. I think the guy the guy was missing that hairstyle that is looks fantastic on him, but like without him, we're nothing on the court. Like I don't know, but I like what I saw on Wednesday. We need to continue play like this. And David said it. Sacramento is hungry. It's not gonna be, oh, is that USL team? It's not gonna be easy. They're really hungry. They're gonna they're gonna I think it's gonna be the biggest headache that we're gonna have this season. So I hope that we're gonna see a couple of goals on September, and I wanna see that trophy lift on September. So no pressure, guys.
No, for sure. I just think that you know we have to be very careful with Sacramento Republic. We cannot take them any lightly. Before I go with my overview of this game, I'm going to go ahead and read some comments here. Let's see here. Muy Rico Suave says we have to go all out. Muy Rico Suave says I agree. We cannot go easy on them. Citrus FC. There's no way Orlando City are only focusing on the Open Cup. MLS clubs don't have to worry about club competitions as much as the rest of the world. We're just poor finishing in the DC match. I wholeheartedly agree. I think it was subpar finishing, and this has been a problem for the last. I will say the last 2 seasons. I want to be correctly. It's not just this season; it's been also last season as well. Because we didn't have Daryl DK. He was injured. He was off international duty, things like that. DJ Thompson, there he's a definitely more of a six. We'll talk about Willer Cartagena. I think a lot of you will be surprised of my assessment of Willer Cartagena, and some people may not like what I say too. Jim D, let's hear about the new Peruvian midfielder. He's more of a 6 or a 10. I'm hoping he can play more on the attacking side and maybe is similar to Yoshi. Well, let's see. Nijay Thompson, generally don't know how we have a huge shift from the cup to the league. It's a mystery to me. That's right. So I could hardly agree with Nijay Thompson, right? And I think in this particular match, it was the unpredictability of Orlando City that definitely won this game. New York thought Orlando City was going to line up with the same system that they've been playing Orlando for the past few games. And it all surprised that Pato was right behind the striker, and the striker was Benji Michel. That threw him off right there. And one thing that Benji has on his favor is his speed. And he had a phenomenal game there. That game was a phenomenal game in the matter of trying to hold up the ball, trying to be a speedster. And Sean Neely's had a terrible game. That's another thing. Also, Aaron Long. They couldn't contain either Pato or Benji Michel, two players that have a change of speed, especially Alexandre Pato, right? Then on the wings, Junior Urso, the last two games, he's played phenomenally, I'm going to say. I think this last one, he also did a golazo and a beautiful goal, but he was playing phenomenally right there on the right wing. So I think Pareja right there has options. The back four were great, and obviously the best player of the game in this 5-1 was Cesar Araujo. Why? Because it's just Frankie Amaya and Cáceres try to do their own play and try to play aggressively, and Araujo was right there to stop them on their tracks. They already learned their lesson. Frankie Amaya try to go left, he will go left. He'll recoup the ball, go in transition attack with Pato, Urso, and Torres right there. So it just kind of worked in Orlando's favor. The good thing about it was the finishing in this game was perfect. Everything worked. Every single shot, every single goal meant a lot, and it worked, right? Now consistency, right? That's what Paula was saying. Consistency is something that's missing in this Orlando team. Now, I'm very happy that the game on Sunday, at least they tied. I mean, at least it was 2-1, because it could have been worse. In my opinion, it could have been worse. And then if it would have been more than 2 goals, then we would have been having another conversation in a different tone of voice for sure. But we cannot have those moments. And I think there's times to park the bus and there are times not to park the bus. In this case, against New York Red Bulls, everything went great because Orlando had this stamina. They knew how to win at home. They, not only that, but the crowd was like amazing. I'm going to say the wall, the people in every single seat were chanting, cheering. They were the 12th man, and that motivates players, right? It says that Araujo's family was also there. I think his girlfriend was there. Same with Benji's and everyone was there. Gales's family, everyone was there. So it was very motivating for the players to play this a make or break game, right? Because essentially they're playing for their season in this U.S. Open Cup, in my opinion, right? For a lot of players too, right? So they did their job and they executed it perfectly. And New York Red Bulls, honestly, they attempted, and I expected more of Lewis Morgan, and thankfully he only scored one on us. There's been times that he scored more than two, or have done a goal and an assist. This time it was just one goal, and then Orlando City scored 5. So now we're onwards to the finals, right, Dave? Against Sacramento United. What are your expectations of this game coming up against Sacramento?
Well, I have to tell you, Sacramento is it's a very good team. They won USL in 2014, our last year in the league. They have a very devoted fan base. They really remind me of who we were back in the USL years. So they're gonna be dangerous. They're gonna be bringing a nice contingent of fans. I think that the factor here is gonna be what happens before the game. We are playing Sunday in Miami. Big question. What do we do? Do we let the Miami Sweat Hogs Like some people have been calling them, get the win. Do we send our B team? What do we do? If you ask me, my friends, there's nothing more that I like than to beat Miami, sweeping for the season, and go on social media and laugh at them. But the fact of the matter is that Wednesday is for all the marbles. That's to me the important thing. Sacramento, on the other hand, is going to be playing Saturday in Louisville. Another great team, we're former affiliate, and it's Louisville's not gonna take it easy on them. They're not gonna take it easy on them, and so again, they will have to make that decision. So they're gonna be on the road for a while. I don't know if they're gonna go be going back to California and then to Orlando. Makes no sense to me. But like, because of the cost savings of hotels or whatnot, that could be a possibility. So we're coming into the game with one less day of rest. Fortunately for us, our away day is 4 hours down the turnpike. So um, at the end of the day, if this is where I get concerned. DC is not Sacramento's better than DC. Sacramento's better than the Sporting Kansas City, which is another bad team in MLS. And I'm here to tell you that Sacramento can beat DC in their current form. I know the media is making a lot about Rooney. Wayne Rooney was a non-factor here, friends. This is just PR trying to hype up this man and trying to sell tickets in a season that it's going nowhere for those guys. They're probably gonna get the wooden spoon, and I'm pretty sure Cincinnati's happy about that. And I finish with this. It's going to be a dangerous game, but we just got to remind ourselves all that we had to do to get here. Paola has said it. Again, I'm stealing from her Spanish language podcast. We've been at this since April. We can't let some USL team to waltz in and steal this from us. The right as last time I checked, less than 5,000 tickets were available. We need to pack the house. We need
Correct.
to be man like Luis said. We need to support our boys. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. My boys don't remember last time we left the trophies because they were very little. I want to be with them. I want to take the picture. I want to be that obnoxious guy. I think, if there's anything in the universe that needs to come together, it's for us to win. We have to play as if we were playing Red Bulls, as if we were playing Arsenal, because it seems, Luis, Paola, it seems like those are the two games that jump at our face. Because or that was an Orlando City that I don't know what happened. They probably went in the witness protection program or something, because we haven't seen them. We did not see them for the second half of Sunday. So that's what we have to do. If we lose, you know that you hate the Wayne Rooney video. If we lose, they're gonna be bringing this up. It's gonna be like what is the 28-3 for Atlanta Falcons fans. It's gonna any argument, anything that you have to say about Orlando City in the future. People are gonna bring the memes and the pictures of Sacramento Republic lifting the trophy in our house. We cannot let that happen.
Paula, what are your thoughts of what's coming with Sacramento Republic?
I have not had the opportunity to see Sacramento played because I know that Sacramento played the same night that we played. I only watch like 10 minutes and I fall asleep. I know that number 99, I think he played a midfielder position. I don't know. He's the little bit that I saw from him, he was kind of dangerous. I could be talking trash or not talking, good about him, but I know that whatever they ate that day versus Arsenal and Red Bulls, they have to do the same thing for this game, like David said. I don't know. They need to be consistency. Like I will sacrifice Miami on that Sunday so I can see fanatics like us that trophy be lifted on Wednesday night. Get your tickets. Like Luis said, we did a lot of noise on that Wednesday game. I didn't like. I still have. I'm recovering from my voice. I'm not 100%. I scream a lot. I screamed a lot. Um, on Wednesday night, it was like it was a happy moment. Let's do it again, boys. Like let's do it again. So I cannot say a lot about Sacramento. I know they're like we're gonna see blood, as but we have to play as the same statistics that we played on Wednesday night. That's all that I have
Um,
to say.
you know, man by man, Orlando is a superior team than Sacramento. Mano a mano, right? Man against 1v1, they're Orlando's a superior team, and I think the players need to realize that. They need to realize that, even Benji, even Tesho, they're superior than Sacramento. Now, I'm not saying that they need to come out, just like just like Peru in the qualifiers against Australia, and feeling like they're better than the other team, the rival, and they're going to win no matter what. No, no, no. You got to put in the work, and you got to be effective. You have to score in the first 15 minutes so you can just set the tone right. You are an MLS team, and you need to score in the first 15 minutes. And then after the 15 minutes, you evaluate, regroup, water break, two more goals. And then that's it. And then if you want to park the bus being up 3-0, then park the bus if that's what you want to do. But you definitely do not want to do that when you're winning 1-0, because then it could bite you. Unfortunately, now soccer, just I think I'm going to take it from Dave. It's cruel and unpredictable. It is true. I mean, that's the beauty of the sport. The smallest club can ruin, you know, Sheriff Sheriff's FC from Moldavia. All right, they beat Real Madrid with their A team. Okay, with Benzema, with Toni Kroos, with Marcelo, with everyone, all the monsters. It was like the Looney Tunes against the Monstars. So this could be the same thing. Now we have to be right up here. So if you tell me what's the priority, the U.S. Open Cup. Now, what do you do against Miami? You go with the spirit of winning for sure, but you put an alternate team. You give Thomas Williams to be one of your center backs. Maybe you pair him with Robin Jansen or maybe Rodrigo Schlegel right there, because Miami is not doing really great either. So, and these are the games against DC, against the bottom of the league, that Orlando needs to show that they're the better team, they're the better squad. Now, yes, this is a derby, right? You want to win it. Okay. Well, you have a final coming up too, which it means more than just this trophy. It means putting the moniker champion next to the name Orlando, which is huge. No team, any sport has been able to do that. I'm talking about major sport, not USL, not Solo Bears. No, no, no. Major, not the Orlando Predators. No, major sport. So, I mean, it's huge. The implications are huge. It could bring a lot of tourism also to Orlando for next year when there's CONCACAF, because there's a lot of people from Nicaragua, a lot of people from El Salvador, a lot of people from Guatemala. Let's say we get Comunicaciones, we get Alajuelense from Costa Rica. There's a lot of Costa Ricans in Orlando. So, these are opportunities for Orlando to make a buzz, explore it to make a buzz, and the people who like to be on camera outside the stadium, they'll have a chance to be shown internationally. So the Wall, I don't know how they're going to go ahead and curse the other team. I don't know if their Spanish is very good, but they're going to have the chance to do that. Hopefully we don't get sanctioned, right? But there you go. Orlando will have the chance to do that. And not only that, just these players, that whether you like them or not, are inconsistent this season, because it shows that they're being inconsistent, especially in these two back-to-back games. Heaven and hell. That's what the reason of the title of this show today. They're going to be cemented in the history of this club. And in my opinion, I think they deserve to be part of the history of this club. Same with Pareja, because when we had Inchi, when we have Tony, what's it called, Christ. I mean, that was disgusting. I mean, I'll be honest with you. And so the franchise has turned around, and I think this will be a great finale, possible finale for a lot of the players, and maybe they decide not to continue in Orlando, but they gave the city something. They gave the city, the people that supported them day in and day out, rain or shine, thunderstorm, till 1 in the morning or 12 at night. They supported them, waited for them outside gate D to sign their jerseys. Those people, those fans, right? Right? For them, right? This is for them. So hopefully they wake up out of this really fast. And in my opinion, I think Orlando needs to prioritize the U.S. Open Cup and send an alternate squad. With some starters, and we have a good. Brendan Hackenberg is a great asset. Otero, he's a great keeper. Greeny, he's right there too. I mean, so I think we should do that. Let's read some comments before we go to the next topic real quick. This is Colin Garvey. Sacramento is only fifth in the West in USL right now. I trust Pareja to learn their weaknesses. The players need to follow through. I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree. It's not just Pareja. We cannot just say, oh, park the bus. No, it's also the players. There's lack of finishing. We've been saying this since the beginning of this show. No one can seem to finish the attacking play. Now, everything worked against New York, but it didn't work against DC, which should be a subpar team, the New York Red Bulls. It should be they're on the bottom of the table. So what happened? I don't know. This is Ahmed Salim. I want to say hello to Ahmed Salim. Thank you so much. We cannot underestimate Sacramento. We've done it with other teams, which we thought should be easy wins, and it came back to bite us. Have to treat Sacramento like Red Bulls and Arsenal. That's what Dave said. I think that's correct. Jim D. Yep, Miami match. Send the bus down there and park it. Let the starters rest. This is a match where a puppy special will be perfect. Get one lucky goal, then park it. I second that. In my opinion, I think as a live in Orlando, grew up in Orlando, went to school in Orlando, got married in Orlando. This is huge. Is huge. Is huge. Nijay Thompson, that's what concerns me. I hate losing derbies, but the cup final is far bigger. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just agreeing with the listener. I
Oh,
mean, not for nothing. I already went to Publix and got my silver polishing kit. So we just gotta win. We just gotta win. Um, oh, any thoughts about Pato struggling there from our friend Dennis Simmons?
mhm.
I'm gonna tell you a thing. He has a bad case of the yips or the yeeps, however you say it. He just have to snap out of it. He just has to snap out of it. He has to start believing in himself. I feel that once he gets a goal, there's gonna be another and another and another. Pato's a player of quality. Pato has a name, and somebody in the locker room needs to grab him and say, "Hey, Alexander, have you seen yourself in the mirror this morning? You are Pato," and
That's
that's it.
right.
You're
That's
Pato.
exactly
Have you
right.
have you seen the name behind on the back of your jersey? You know what I'm saying? You have won and you have played
Yes.
in places that some of these people are never gonna even be able to afford a ticket to
Yeah,
attend.
I know.
Okay, that's why somebody needs to tell him that sometimes we forget, we get lost on our way because we want to be humble, we want to be team players. But somebody just needs to just smack this guy in the face and say, "Guess what, buddy? Today's the day. You're gonna show people why you are who you are," and that's it. This is a man that has played with the national team of one of the biggest powerhouses on earth. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. AC Milan, I still remember, he's won, Pato has won everything. And that's what I say, Dave, We Orlando has the pedigree players to get lift this U.S. Open Cup. I mean, Orlando has the players to lift this U.S. Open Cup trophy. And I know for a fact that if Pato gets to lift this trophy, this is going to be a revindication from a lot of the haters from down south. I'm talking about South America that thought that Pato coming into the MLS and signing one more season with Orlando, it was a horrible decision. Not only that, but to people that feel that Pato is a player that's done, Don
Mhm.
Dada, right? I don't believe that. And I think it'll be a slap in the face to all those people. What are your
And
thoughts there?
no, absolutely, Luis. You mentioned that this past week, uh, this content is in Spanish. I watch. There's a show down in Uruguay called Tirando Paredes, or Throwing Down Walls. That's the translation of the show, and it's a football show. The talent that they have very good. They have this 20-year-old, 22-year-old girl that can run circles around us when it comes to her football knowledge. Anyhow, and they interviewed Facundo Torres' agent, who I had the pleasure of meeting when Facundo got here in town, and basically I felt that the show was a little bit of a bait and switch because they sort of brought him in to like trash MLS. The people, the questions that were sending, oh, it's a retirement league. What is he doing there? And when he described to the audience that the quality of the stadiums, the quality of the facilities, things that I did not know. I mean, the guy went all out. Here in the States, we tend to, when we watch MLS media, they tend to keep a lot of things close to their chest. This guy let all the secrets out. How the team is structured. He's like, hey, this team is just a bunch of family men, church going dudes. Uh, you know, calm people. These guys, they go to each other's houses. They have barbecues at each other's houses. They have this family atmosphere. They fight for each other, and he, to be honest with you, I left very impressed about the quality of our league. And the reality is that a lot of those fans left with in Uruguay left with a different taste of what our league is. And I think we have discussed this before, Luis, where sometimes we find ourselves being like MLS missionaries. You know what I'm saying? We have to convince people that our product is worthy of watching. And last, Facundo had an interview with a morning, one of these Good Morning America type of shows in Uruguay. And they asked him about everything that was going on with him. And he revealed something that I was completely oblivious to. In the Uruguayan league, they play on Sundays. They play once a week, unless there's a cup game, which are very far in between. Most of the teams that he played against were 20 minutes away from his house because the first division of Uruguayan football is heavily concentrated in Montevideo, in the city of Montevideo. So he's like, hey, look, I'll leave my house 20 minutes. I'm in so and so's team's stadium, and we just play. Boom, done. Here, he's describing how he's playing one weekend in one part of the country, middle of the week, and then the following week in another part of the country. And he said that was consuming a lot of that getting used to that we attribute to new players when they come from overseas. So it's important to mention that before we move any further. I guess we can go into our newest signing, Luis.
No, no, we can talk about DC.
Okay, okay.
We haven't talked
Well,
about DC. We can.
all I gotta contribute about that, it was just a bad game. Fell asleep on the wheel. Those last 2 minutes, my neighbors learned new bad words in Spanish, new curse words from me. Hugely disappointed. Probably, I don't know, heavy legs from Wednesday. I don't know what it was. We can't continue to lose against bottom feeders. DC gets to sweep us. But like I was telling a friend today, the fact of the matter is that people tend to forget that last year we stunned them at Exploria with the DK stoppage time goal. I don't know if you guys remember that. I mean, we beat DC like a stray dog. We beat them, And this year, unfortunately, they played us right after we're coming out of Open Cup games. One game we were trying a different formation. The other game, we sort of, left it all on Wednesday. I'm angry because I want to win. I'm a winner. I heard, I have said this 1,000 times, but it was a bad day at the office. I can give you guys some data that will hopefully make the month of August more palatable. At the end of the day, we just lost. That's it.
Paula, what were your thoughts from starters in this DC game?
Bad decisions all over. Bad decision from the players. Bad decision from the coaching staff. We had opportunities that we couldn't finish. I was counting right now. I was reading through the stats, and we missed more than four attempts. More than four attempts that we could score yesterday from the players. So it was just a bad day at the office. So it is what it is. I hate, and thank you, David, for reminding the fans that we last year DK scored that stoppage time header in that game, because people needs to be reminded of those moments. um Rooney doesn't own us. It was just good luck. It was just luck for them yesterday. And I don't know why the players parked the bus. I really don't know. I cannot talk from them because I was not at the game. I'm not a player for the Orlando City. Unfortunately, um thank God we didn't lose like we lost on July 4th. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of factors that happen here. Again, the subs did not offer anything to solve Orlando's problems, not only in attack. On the contrary, I believe that the exit of Mauricio Pereira changed the pace of the game completely. His passing ability, usually allows the team to sit deep a lot, and unfortunately, when he came out and Andres Perea came in, it was just I mean, I don't want to say this, but I mean, it was not the same. I mean, Perea is not a player that, I mean, it was constant turnovers, which made it easy for DC to attempt the counterplay. And then you have tired legs in the back. You have amazing saves from Pedro Galese that he's not disappointed in this season completely at all. You have also great defending from Antonio Carlos, but then what about if one of them just happens to get tired? So I think that's where I think what Paula was saying, the coaching needs to step up in the game, as who out of my back line I'm going to take out. Should I take out this player? Maybe he'll be able to contain Funtas, right? Not just make rush decisions when it comes to the subs. I mean, Kyle Smith, great defensive minded player. There are going to be games for Kyle Smith, but today, taking away your number 10 and taking away Joan Moutinho, which had like I think over 78 touches throughout the whole game, or 75 touches, I think is what I wrote yesterday. You take him out, and Orlando lost attacking prowess at that point. And so, and I know that maybe Pareja is looking at it in the fact of, potential knee injury from Mauricio Pereira. He needs to play the final. And then same with Moutinho, right? But if you're truly going to park the bus, you just got to wait it out a little bit, especially in stoppage time. Wait it out, and let's see how it plays out. Because this, against teams like DC, Miami, teams that are lower on the bottom of the league, those are the games Orlando needs to win. Orlando won't be able to beat the Austins and the New York Red Bulls and the NYCFCs and all the time. We need to be able to know who we're facing and know that DC, Miami, the lower bottom teams, we can definitely beat them. And we can also add pieces from OCB maybe to also assist on there with fresh legs. I think knowing when to change fresh legs and knowing when not to change fresh legs also, messed up Orlando, in my opinion. And then poor finishing, which it's been the talk of the town since the beginning of the season and last season too. At some point people were saying, "Oh, but Nani is inconsistent." But Nani was our playmaker. Now the hate goes on who? On Pato? Who the hate goes now? Or to what? Facundo? No, I mean it's just poor finishing. I mean we need to be able to know that Urso's chip was fantastic, but then, you have missing opportunities from Alexandre Pato, which should have scored at least a couple of those, and Benji Michel, and they need to take responsibility of their actions at that point, right? And if they are our aces to score goals, they need to live that part and make sure that that's getting done. Everything that happened against the New York Red Bulls completely failed in attack in this game. And, Urso had one of his best games, thriving on that right wing, as I mentioned earlier. And then, even though Pato and Michel were great at creating chances, they just couldn't, finish the play. And so that to me are the key points to focus on, right? What do we go from here? What do we go from here is just keep wanting to win games. And now we're playing against New England Revolution, another tough team. But, we'll see what happens, right, Dave? And yes, there was a statement. I know Ahmed Salim says, yes, curious about Ursa's statement as well. Any thoughts? Okay, let's put it on right here. I think I have it right here. I want to say hello to Austin David, a great guy. Says, listening back to yesterday's Orlando City presser, Junior Urso had an interesting answer to a question I asked him about Oscar and the second half defensive strategy. And it says, Oscar put it on the field to do what he said. He told us to keep the ball and try to find space to score goals, but sometimes we don't try that. Sometimes we just stay and wait for the team to come. But this is not an idea of Oscar's. I think we have to follow what he says, and sometimes we don't follow it. We just defend and wait for the other team. Do you guys understand what he's saying? I can definitely have an idea what he's saying, but I want Dave to answer it first, and then
Yeah,
we can go to
sure.
Paulo.
1 minute answer. Um, I think he's just doing what a good player does: take responsibility, deflect from his manager. Simple as that. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. Us in this podcast have been privileged about information of what's going on behind closed doors, and I'm not gonna reveal the sources of what was said because it's counterproductive. I think some of the things that were said and that are going on need to be worked out among the players and the management. I'm not gonna throw out our team's dirty laundry out there. It's good to make analysis, but I just think it's if we give that information out to the fan base, it's just gonna be counterproductive. There's a lot of people in our fan base that just thrive on chaos. I honestly don't understand why they follow the team or they follow the sport if everything is always negativity, and they're always looking for the next controversy so they can tweet and tag people and tag the club in it. And we're not gonna be part of that trash. All I gotta say is that Orlando City is finding itself in a moment in a crossroads where they need to identify who they want to be. They want to be a team that leads championships and goes to the playoffs and commands respect when they step on the pitch, sells the defeat really expensively, and goes out and scores golazos, or they just want to be a doormat, which we have been under Jason Christ, under James O'Connor. That's basically it. I think tomorrow when they return back to the training pitch, they are going to do just that. I know that some of the players are angry because we lost, and they really want to get back out there and prove that what they are. But the players themselves, that they need to do some soul searching. I'm gonna allow Oscar Pareja to fine tune his team, and also for the players themselves to sort out whatever it is that is an impediment. We can see that they can win. We have seen that already with Arsenal, with Red Bulls. We can see the team has a never say die attitude. We saw that with Nashville. We gotta see that day in day out, game out, because the fact of the matter is it's not gonna get easy in August. At the end of this month, uh, just so you know, my friends, there's 15 points on the table. In the month of July, out of 18 points available, we only earned five. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. We're not the only team in MLS that had a really bad July. So those 15 points, three home games, two away. It's going to be against very good competition. But again, you got to find a way. Busca la forma, like Oscar says. You have to be the protagonist. All these games are going to be on weekends, with the exception of the last game of the month, which is going to be and on Wednesday on the 31st of August against Seattle. We gotta win. That's all. We gotta win. We gotta find a way. I'm not a magician. All I know is that I'm gonna put my trust in the manager to do what he needs to be done.
Yeah, definitely. Paola, anything you want to say regarding the statement of Junior Urso?
David said it all. It's leadership from Urso. What he's saying. I think the boys needs to find their way, like Arsenal and Red Bulls. The talent is there. It's not we don't. It's not that we don't have talent. The talent is there. We just need to play like we have played with Arsenal and Red Bulls. Get. I think they need just like a shake or something in the locker room and say, hey, probably they need that slap in the face from David to Pato or something and say, hey, pucker up. We're almost at the end of the meat season. We need these important points. Let's get it out. So that's all I have to say.
I mean, in my opinion, this statement, yes, it could be what Dave said, but it's also something that, so Oscar in his practices preaches one thing. And then when the players feel tired, or maybe they are tired legs, they decide to change the script without. I mean, Oscar finds out obviously right away, I'm sure, but that's exactly what he's saying, And there's a lot of this is a South American thing, because there's a lot of teams that do this down south. They, the coach may be doing one thing, they have a plan, but then either somebody gets injured, somebody gets subbed out, and then they're like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and wing it. It's and kind of put a little bit of the pressure onto our back four. But sometimes that back four may be tired, right? And that back four may not have the legs to save your butt, right? So um I think this is probably where it's heading at, in my opinion. I just think that when you just defend and wait for the other team, meaning is you're not putting anything, you're not attacking back, so you're just holding on. And again, the defense the last few minutes had a terrible game. They were outpaced. And I think that's what happened. So they thought that just by holding the ball and just waiting for them, it was going to be enough, and it was not. Let's read some comments and then go to the next topic real quick. Seth Antonio Rodriguez says, honestly, if we win the cup and somehow make the playoffs still, then I'll consider this a season somewhat of a success. That's a very bossy. I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think we have a chance still to make the playoffs. We just gotta win. We just gotta win. We cannot lose against DC and Miami. Colin Garvey, it could be possible that when the players are tired and they're content to let Galese and the defenders bail us out, obviously that doesn't work for very long. I think that's exactly what I was saying. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's probably it. Nijay Thompson, that makes me fear the manager is losing the room. Um, I,
On that, Luis, I'm sorry to cut you off. On that, one of our sources told us today that Oscar Pareja is very much in control of the locker room, that he's still part of the decisions for recruiting, for decision making on the club, and for the season moving forward. That doesn't mean that they can fire him. I mean, that's still on the table. I know there's a lot of people on social media that puts into question the veracity of our statements. People know who we are. My partners here in this podcast know who the sources are. We don't have to make up anything. We don't get anything. We don't win anything by lying to you. Anyhow, that's the reality. And moving forward, Oscar Pareja is the manager of this club at least until December.
all right. It says Seth Antonio Rodriguez. It says, is there any potential coaches any of you have in mind that could replace Pareja? Well, I can and can help us to be better tactically. I think we shouldn't sack Oscar Pareja, but instead let his contract run out this season. Um, yeah, Matias Almeida, I think he'd be a great manager. Ricardo Gareca,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's not cheap. Mohamed, he was playing in Atletico Mineiro. He was just sacked recently. You got Miguel Angel Ramirez, ex Charlotte manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Miguel Angel Ramirez never had a chance.
No, he never did. Yeah.
The organization of Charlotte, yeah, they're the newest kid in town, but they're running like the Panthers. So they're being run like an NFL team, and that's not how you run a soccer team, in my opinion. I think if they come to he comes to a team that is supported, and the people around here they're more like the more likely to speak Spanish. He feels at ease. He can bring the people that he wants to bring over, and he's not imposed players or players that have to play. Um, because he has zero tolerance for indiscipline, Miguel Angel
Mm-hmm.
Ramirez.
Diego Alonso's another
He
prospect
could Diego Alonso too. He never got a chance
in
in the
Miami.
MLS.
Absolutely none.
Gabriel Heinze in Atlanta United, same
Mm-hmm.
thing. He didn't want to stand for indiscipline and players getting late into practice, players don't coming to practice, and these are people that are workaholics, just like Oscar Pareja is. But obviously, they've been players that have played World Cups. So Gabriel Heinze has played World Cups. He knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to qualify to the World Cup. He
Mm-hmm.
knows, he's a great. He's what he did at Vélez Arfield was tremendous. So I think those are some options. Victor
And
Rivera,
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
he
Luis.
says he has the case of the Rivas, probably from
Mm.
Pato.
No, I was gonna say with Atlanta, they allowed a player run the show, and they look at the state of the club right now. And again, we should never allow that to happen here in Orlando ever. Nobody's name in the back of the jersey is ever gonna be bigger than the name in the front. And all these managers that we name that have been sacked or let go or have moved on from MLS, they have done so because like you said, front office never respected their character, their work ethic, and never respected the football. And that's the reason why those teams are who they are and they are where they are on the table.
Right, and we're gonna keep reading your comments. Keep dropping your comments over. We'll go to the next topic, the last topic of the show, which will be Wilder Cartagena, right? It's Orlando City. It's an Orlando City player. I want to give a shout out to my partner or my friend Alonso Contreras. He had the scoop from the player itself. I guess he knows people we don't know, and he was able to find this out. Now, who is Wilder Cartagena? As all you know, I have my Spanish podcast called Ladre el Fútbol, which is available. It's actually on at 11:30 tonight. You guys want to check it out. And Wilder Cartagena is a player that It's an 8 and a 6. He could play as a 6, so he could play Cesar Araujo's role, and he could also play as a number 8, so he could play as a Junior Urso's role. Now, the thing about Wilder Cartagena is that he's very silky player when it comes to recouping the ball. So he's a player that plays strong but doesn't resort to fouling the opponent. He's very inventive in recuperating the ball and associating with both flanks, right or left, to go into the attack. So I will consider him a box to box player. He's very fast, and he can associate very well on the wings in transition attack. He played in Alianza Lima. He had a great season there. He's played in Portugal. He's played in Mexico, in Argentina as well. He's done little stints here and there, and the reason is because of just letting his contract expire, not renewing. Now I think in the MLS, and money too, right? Money. But I think in the MLS, he can definitely thrive. Now, is he a better player than Mendes? There are two different types of midfielders. Mendes, to me, is more of a defensive minded player, in my opinion. He's more of like this big giant pit bull trying to bite your ankles, right? And he will get a goal here and there. Wilder Cartagena, he is more of like a boxer. He likes to jump. He can play rough, but he could also be very gentle. So I mean, to see it, and why I'm doing those comparisons, because that's the easiest way to understand. No, he's a box to box player, and he can definitely in transition attack when Orlando goes into the attack. He will be able to assist Facundo, look for Ruan, look for Gaston Gonzalez, look for Benji, and I think in a tandem in a mid with Cartagena, Araujo, and then as a 10, Mauricio Pereira, he would thrive because it'll be very associated football right there and then. And as you guys know, Peruvian players love to play in one touch. They love to touch the ball once, run. They'll do the tiki taka style. He's been known for doing this. And I think if you're looking to hold up possession even more, he is the type of player that not only will be able to hold up the possession and assist, but he'll be a player that can do the back and forth job that maybe Araujo could be a solid 6 right there in the middle, and then he can do the back and forth, associating himself with Facundo, with Gaston Gonzalez, with Benji, with Pato, with whoever's the striker right up top. So I think it's if he's coming for Sebas Mendes spot. From my understanding, it's he has a contract till the end of the year with the opportunity to renew for 2023, right? Kind of similar to what Carlos Asquez had, very similar, right? And he's pretty much said goodbye to all his teammates back in his club in UAE, Itihad Calva, that's his name, and he's Paul Tenorio, which is who broke the news too, right? So he finalized a deal with Orlando City, announcing it is imminent as final things sorted. In my opinion, it should be either within the next 48 hours, he should be already announced. He bid his farewell to his club, and here's his Instagram post. So it's a reality. He's definitely going to be a Lion, in my opinion. I think it's a great pickup for Orlando. Again, is low risk, high reward type of player. I think that's the type of signings Orlando's doing right now. They're not looking to sign a, Ronaldinho. They're not trying to sign a Messi or Luis Suarez. Orlando's trying to sign players that are going to give them low cost, high reward. That's to me, and this is perfect because for what's coming next for Orlando, I think, and you're talking about playoff contention, you want to have a more of an attacking presence down the mid and take some of the responsibility of Mauricio Pereira's feet, that's your guy right there. Because then Araujo will be a solid six right in the middle, and then he could do the back and forth job, and then Pereira could retreat himself a little bit. So I think he's a good pickup. Everyone in Peru is very happy that he's joined the MLS. Everybody thought that UAE, going to the UAE, was from being in Argentina. Obviously, he left Argentina because of the money, because of the situation.
Yeah, he was in Godoy, if
Yeah, he
I'm
was
not
in Godoy
mistaken.
Cruz. Yeah, he was in Godoy Cruz. He was he. They offered to renew his contract for 2 seasons. He declined, and he decided to go to this club. He then got in a fight with some of the fans from Godoy Cruz that disagreed with his decision, and then now he is part of Orlando City, which he has a huge chance to definitely make it and be quite of an asset of a team. And I wouldn't imagine what that team is going to look like in 2023 with Facundo Torres on right wing, Gaston Gonzalez on the left, and Mauricio Pereira as your 10. And then your two midfielders will be Wilder Cartagena, probably part of the team, Peruvian team for the qualifiers for 2026. And then Cesar Araujo, right? And then up top, that's the thing. Who's going to be at top, right? Would it be Erjan Kara? Would it be Alexandre Pato? Right.
Yeah.
So I think those are.
Kara's an enigma. He's not hurt. Sources tell us he's just in the doghouse. He's well liked by his teammates. Well liked by his teammates. I mean, the guy is a personality in the locker room. I would like to see him this weekend. Whatever it is, again, they need to work it out.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now people are saying on the comments they want to know about Angulo, Brian Angulo.
He's a number 10 according to his bio, attacking midfielder. So
He's
I,
a left
I
winger, left winger.
is it left winger? His Wikipedia says he's an attacking midfielder. So I was excited about that because I said, oh great, he's gonna be Mauricio Pereira's replacement. Because for those that don't know, Wilfredo Rivera is a number 10, and I always expected Rivera to sort of be an understudy, but unfortunately, the age difference, the gap in talent, was not there. He was sent to Indy 11 in USL. Hopefully, our boy can get some deserved play time and better competition than what we have at OCB, which is a story for another day. I feel that MLS is next is not living up to the expectations that they set for themselves. But yeah, so the guy has been on loan, has been in the Brazilian league. He had some experience with the U20s and U23s for Colombia. Don't know much about the player. No, none of our signings here, I can say that I'm an expert of. As a matter of fact, I think Luis knows more about the
Yeah,
Peruvian.
he honestly, I'll be honest with you. He is again low risk, high reward. He's healthy. He is definitely has more experience than some of the players that are currently playing. Obviously, playing in CONMEBOL, playing in Portugal, it gives you a different outlook in for the sport, right? Because you play a higher level soccer, right? Higher level soccer. And so, but he, in my opinion, his stats are not good. I mean, he's a young player. He's been on the under 23 team for La Selección Colombia, but again, it's low risk, comes on a free on a loan from Palmeiras, and could be a high reward. And why is Orlando doing that? Because Gaston Gonzalez got injured, and Oscar is seeing that he needs more of a presence, somebody that's able to, on the 1v1, beat a defender. And right now, what we've been seeing on the left wing is turnovers. We're putting a lot of pressure on Joao Moutinho being that player that's going to go all the way to the attacking third and then all the way back, right? With Ivan Angulo, because he's a fast player, because he's a player that has played in that level of CONMEBOL, a tougher level, he'll be able to be that dribbler on that left wing. Maybe a precursor to what Gaston Gonzalez is going to do in 2023, right? Now, obviously, Gaston Gonzalez to me is a better player, but he's definitely he's gonna definitely be um, he's gonna be better in the finishing part, in the finishing aspect of the play, especially on the left wing, in my opinion. So let's see what he can do, right? I mean, he's only played like 10 minutes in Palmeiras, in my opinion, and 0 goals. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of good stats, but let's say maybe Orlando is the team for him, right? Maybe Orlando is the team for him. How can we know that, right? From the get go, but I think that's why the club brought him in because he has played in a high competitive level, in very high competitive teams, and it comes at a very low risk for the club.
And by the way, he already is with the team. If you notice on the video that the team posted on Wednesday celebration, he was celebrating with the team. So that's good news. He's already with the team, making those connections. That is super important to be connected with the team. So let's see what he can bring into the table.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. So, I appreciate everyone commenting and obviously make sure that keep checking us out. And hopefully we see in the 2023, that big signing, right? I think people are looking for, right? Just like when Nani came in, maybe the front office could deliver, high caliber signing. Luis Suarez just went to his boyhood club, Nacional de Uruguay. He had offers from the MLS, and he decided no, he wants to play with his boyhood club, and all great for him, right? Let's see what we can do. I think Facundo Torres, he is a player that is our DP. He's a phenomenal player. He has a lot of future, but still, he's a very young player, right? We need a little bit more of experience, especially right up top, in my opinion. We need somebody that is more of a seasoned player. And let's see what we can find, right? Right up top, in my opinion, and also our defense, right? Because some players, I'm sure they'll go to different teams next season, right? And we'll see what Orlando can get. All right, let's read some comments. This is Colin Garvey. He says one area of need for the winter is a proper backup replacement successor to Pereira. I don't think he'll be back next season. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, he already had, I think, 2 or 3 extensions on his original contract. Again, we have said this many times. He wants to retire in Uruguay. He wants to go back to Nacional because he wants to raise his child in Uruguay. All uh, reasonable reasons why he wants to go back. He's at the end of his career. Super talented individual, but yeah, I agree with this. We definitely need. We have seen what happens when he's off the pitch. I don't like it. I don't think anybody does. So we definitely need to find that axis where our offense and defense basically pivots out of, and that should be top priority coming on in 2023 for this club.
What are your thoughts there, Paola, of this question? Successor of Pereira.
If he's not gonna be here next season, we need to start now to replace him. I don't like what I see without him on the pitch. Like David said, we see it yesterday when he got a little bit injured there. Hopefully Ricardo Moreira and Luis Musi, they're doing already scouting, and I know that they're doing it already. So let's see what they bring. They know what they're doing. So in them I trust. So let's see.
Seth Antonio Rodriguez says, one last question, laugh out loud. Is there any chance that one Brazilian youngster that we got from Brazil can break into the first team? I believe he plays for Orlando CDB, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Victor Yan, right? Yeah, probably asking about Victor Yan from
Mm-hmm.
Santos. And also Nisar Mendez, right? Nisar Mendez Acosta. That's Sebas.
Seba's nephew.
I think that's the bench we need. I think, I mean, you have a core group of players that are your starters, and these will be players that are young, exciting, and could change the pace of a game. Now, have they had the chance in OCB? They've had some shining moments. We need to see those for the first team, of course. I think they can. They've played competitive. They're playing very competitive leagues. The Ecuadorian league is 10 times better pacing. It was one of the top leagues in South America right now, the Ecuadorian league. And then when it comes to Santos, I mean that's the biggest club in Brazil, in my opinion. The Santos de Brasil, Santos, so what Pelé played, Neymar played, and so talking to a colleague from Brazil, she's talked very good things about Victor Yan. She was very surprised that he did not stay with Santos for one more season, but because now Santos needs depth, and now he's not there, and he's in Orlando City playing in the second division. So um, let's I think that if there's people that we could definitely give a chance and see if they can adapt to the first team, will be those two, in my opinion. Yeah, bring them up because we need the depth. This is a long season, right, Dave? Long MLS season, and if we want to get more silverware, we're gonna need the depth. We're gonna need
And
those fresh legs.
Luis, and next year we're gonna be adding the
Copa
Leagues Cup
Champions.
the Leagues Cup tournament. Yeah, exactly. We win. We're gonna have CCL, but next year in the summer, MLS and Liga MX are going to suspend the season, and we're gonna have a round robin tournament. Basically, MLS is back on steroids, and
With Mexican teams.
yeah, with the Mexico, yeah,
Uh,
Leagues Cup next year is gonna be all the MLS and all of Liga MX playing together. It's gonna be like I said, it's gonna be divided into groups. Top two or three teams in those groups are gonna move on. Then it's gonna be win or go home, and then they're gonna crown a champion, and the winner is gonna get a cash prize and a berth in CCL. So it's quite possible that we may see more MLS teams into the CCL. And to be honest with you, what I like about this tournament is that it's not at the same time as Open Cup and as the league, because quite honestly, MLS teams with all the restrictions they have, we just don't have the personnel
right.
to go out there and do three tournaments at the same time.
We did
Increase.
play last year on that, right? We played with
No, no,
Santos
no.
Laguna. Oh, that was
Well,
different.
Santos Laguna was on the old format,
Oh,
which
gotcha.
was if you finish top four
Top
in each
four.
conference, then you go. But
Got it.
then they saw how much money these tournaments are making. They said, no, 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 no. Let's have everyone
Of
participate.
course, of
So
course.
Money,
yeah,
money,
so
money. Money, money, money. No, I mean honestly, and it's great. I mean, is Orlando going to be able to play at Exploria?
yes, it's gonna be luck of the
Man,
draw. It's luck of the draw. So we may find ourselves playing in Mexico, or we may find ourselves playing at Explorer or somewhere else in the U.S. or Canada.
that's fantastic. I mean, because I mean, Orlando has one of the most loyal fan bases in the MLS. So, I mean, let's say we just get one of the, let's say Chivas, Orlando City versus Chivas. You understand that stadium is going to be
In
packed.
Guadalajara. How about that?
Or Orlando City in Guadalajara, right? I mean, that brings new rivalries, new excitement. Like tacos against hamburgers. You're talking about,
Hot dogs.
chilaquiles against sriracha, right? I mean, you're talking about the tapatio against what's it called? What's that?
Texas Pete.
Texas Pete. There you go. Ahí está. There you go. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it'd be fantastic. It would be fantastic to see the colleagues also at the press booth
Yes,
from
absolutely, absolutely.
TUDN.
With Tiro de Esquina, we partner with the podcast that covers Santos Laguna, which is Nación Guerrera. I mean, we here in Orlando, some people like to say, "Oh, we have the most listeners." Those guys on their Twitter alone had like 27,000 people
Oh
following them,
yeah.
and they decided to come into our show. Like I have to tell you, the most downloaded show in the history of the podcast. And we had a lot of fun. That's the beauty. Like Paula, again, I keep quoting her show without giving her the opportunity to talk about it herself. One of the things that Paula said on the show yesterday was, I love the fact that the game of football, it's just much more than just seeing 22 men kicking a ball. Introduces me to new friends, new people. Obviously, we all met through Orlando City. I have said that 1,000 times. But when you get to meet people from outside of the country, outside of the league, and and again, just because we're competing, we don't have to be contentious. We don't have to be hating on each other. We can all be rivals for 90 minutes and friends for life, like I always say. So I think it's gonna be a great tournament, and next year it's gonna be awesome for Orlando City because
Yeah.
again, we're gonna be defending our Open Cup, like we said, and hopefully we're gonna have a revamped roster that is gonna take us to playoffs.
Yeah, and maybe that's the plan for the front office, right? I mean, Victor Yan, Nisar Mendez, these are players that know what it is to play internationally in a high level. I mean, Brazil is the top league in South America, and Ecuador is maybe the third best league, in my opinion, there. So, I mean, these are players that have won already in their homegrown clubs. So maybe that's the case. Maybe that's our bench, and maybe that's the extra that Pareja needs. Rather, a good solid backup from Moutinho, or a top level, left back, and then somebody that's gonna definitely carry that load, playing against DC, playing against Miami, Open Cup, things like that. We need to start having an A team, B team, and even C team, right? For these tournaments, and that's a consistency, right? So, and I don't know if we have any more comments here before we go. No, we do not. Well, I want to, before we go, any last words, Dave, that you want to say?
Yeah. To finish, I just want to remind everybody, this, like I said, 15 points on the table for the month of August. It's gonna be probably our best and most relaxed month of the season. Again, New England this Saturday. Please be there. Then we're gonna go on the road against Red Bulls. Then we're gonna go on the road against Charlotte. Then we are gonna be welcoming New York City here at home, and we're gonna close the month with Seattle. This week is very important because this week Red Bulls is playing twice, Columbus is playing twice, Charlotte is playing twice, and Miami is playing twice. So we definitely need those 3 points because these teams can leapfrog us if they win both of their games.
Right. I wholeheartedly agree. Paola, any last words you want to say?
Saturday, be there, support the team. Also, David has mentioned my podcast with my fiance, Tiro de Esquina. Same concept that we have talked, but in Spanish. Follow us on Twitter at T Esquina Podcast. Follow us on YouTube as well, Tiro Esquina as well podcast. So don't miss it. It's just us talking about football, soccer in Spanish. So follow us, please, please, please. Thank you so much for the support.
And one last thing, Legendary David, my vlog, Spanish and English on YouTube.
I want to thank everyone that's been right now listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, to everybody that's watching us live, 13 people live at the moment. At some point, we're, I think, 20, 22 people. So thank you so much. We're growing little by little. I know that the podcast is about an hour and a half long, but there's a lot of information. And we didn't even talk about the Pride that they tied against. Unfortunately, they were winning 2-0, and then Kansas woke up, right? But at least Seb Himes still being that manager, that effective manager. They're right now. They have not lost a game. So let's root for Orlando City legend Seb Himes.
Hey, Luis, last time that I checked, we had 422 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, 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 please.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you so much to everybody. Check us out. We're on YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Click on the notification bell for all notifications. We're also on Facebook and also as on Twitter as LPO_podcast. Thank you so much for being part of the show, and vamos Orlando. Thank you so
Vamos
much.
Orlando.